Okay, this was an absolutely insane chapter. Not at all what I expected I was going to be reading today. I thought we were going to be like meandering Elbaf to Elbaf, maybe checking in on the world a little bit. This was intense. This was like major development after major development. I feel like it was a wild ride. So, before we dive right in, let's christen this incredible chapter. Anyway, um, I feel like it's hard for me to have like cohesive initial thoughts. It was a wild chapter with like development after development. So I thought maybe instead of like, you know, doing a broad scope and then maybe diving into specific topics, I'll just go page by page and talk about like what emerges for me, what thoughts I have. So, um, okay, so with the cover story of my husband Yamato, working on reconstructing, I guess like these outposts. I think Odin like had these different outposts in all the provinces, that Yamato is, I guess, helping the repair initiative. I guess Kaido must have destroyed them. I think that was instructed. I think Kaido like sent his men to go to each of the provinces and destroy those castles slash outposts. Am I right? So the carpenter that Frankie was apprenticing for is missing somehow. I have no idea really what that's going to lead to. I do think this arc of Yamato's adventures might probably, someone must have said this to me. I can't remember if it was like an initial thought or not, my original thought or not, but that this might be leading toward a oh of Kaido and Big Mom reveal that they're alive, because it seems very likely that they're alive. I don't know if they'll play like a significant role in the rest of the story, but it's weird that Oda would kill them off that way. Anyway, let's keep progressing onward. Already 2 minutes in and we've only covered the cover story, so this may be a long one. I saw a tweet today, I think it was by Melon T, and it was like calling Rob Lucci Robert, and it was just very funny to me. Um, okay, so Saturn J Garcia, our man, is confronting like the high rank, the vice admirals. I can never remember the ranks of the Marines. It's always like hazy to me, but yeah. So they think either he's upset about the Straw Hats. He doesn't even give a shit about that. He's really upset about you know, the whole Vegapunk's message coming out. So I don't know why it took me this long for this. They're not explicitly showing it yet or anything, but I wonder if Emeth just when he came to Maryjois and destroyed, caused this havoc. I wonder if he was just wearing that giant straw hat that was in the freezer that we saw those chapters ago. Because like there was a wild theory for a while that Joy Boy was a giant, but that's been disproven. Unless he can like morph his size using his Gear Fifth ability and wore the straw hat in that final giant size form, which is a possibility. But it could have been that Emeth showed up wearing that straw hat and it must have gotten taken or fallen off when he shut down. But yeah, it's cool to see like these like proto Vegapunks from years ago, like this Mr. Generic anime video game scientist there. Oh, let's keep going. Oh yeah, so the guy, one of the guys confronts him about, if you're the dumbest thing you could possibly say in this situation. If you're so worried about, upset about it, does that mean it's true? And without saying a word, it seems like advanced Conquerors hockey, but Jake Garcia just annihilates him. Um, okay, so the whole thing with the which I didn't expect this at all. I thought that what's her name, Lilith, was going to be the only surviving Vegapoint, but it seems like remnants of each of them have survived. I'll find that page. It's further down, but I'll go back. Yeah, it says remnants of each of them survived, and like, so it's essentially just all of the satellites except for Lilith and York All the orc parts have been destroyed, it seems like, before there's one entity that's going to be around, which is pretty cool. I do like that a bit, and it seems like they're saving. They're saving. Is this where Vagamont's brain was? It's hard to remember. I probably got to go back and read the arc. But they're saving that and shooting it into the sky as a floating sky island. And they're coordinating with the sky wizards that Nami trained with, which big like I didn't expect them to be like an integral part of the story, you know. So it is fun to see them come back. But this is a really cool development. Very interesting concept, and I think it's sort of foreshadowing of the technology that maybe if the world does end up flooding fully, that they can use this technique to have like, you know, propel all the existing islands into the sky in some capacity. I think that's probably foreshadowing, if I had to guess, but you know, no way to be fully certain. Okay, so we see there's, you know, distress and disarray in Mary Joie, as we've seen before. But the big development is that it seems like Emu himself, like, because who else would, if the Gorosei didn't know, it seems like Emu himself ordered Figarling Garland, is that his name again? Yeah, Figarling Garland, to join the Gorosei himself, and you know, he struts in like that, and you know, you're thinking about like, wait, what about Jay Garcia? And you see that Emu has the ability to simply just make him completely melt and die away. One of the most powerful entities in existence do that. So this is the power level we're dealing with Emu. This, you know, I think personally, I'm leaning more toward the theory that these weren't people necessarily separate from Emu. Like Emu created them as fat, like almost like maybe this whole egghead thing was sort of teaching us about the concept of satellite people, Horcruxes, if you will. You know, and I think that like maybe Emu, the five elders are Emu's satellites, and I was going to say that like from this sequence it seems like very likely that from his just this ability to make him like, because if he could just do this to anyone, like why wouldn't he have done it to Luffy yet? Why wouldn't he have done it to, you know, any probable threats like black-haired Vivi? Like why wouldn't he have done this already? But it seems like so part of me would be like, I like tempted to say like, oh, he only has this ability pertaining to the creations of like himself, like satellites of himself. But if Garland is a Gorosei now, it means that the Gorosei aren't all creations of him, you know, because Garland was like a separate, like fully functioning human beings, completely separate, isolated from the Gorosei, you know, and not an immortal like seemingly the rest of them are. Maybe he'll be bestowed upon that now. Interesting to think about. Not really, like, I think we'll have to learn more before we can, you know, get further developments on that. Yeah. Trying to think what else I wanted to touch on here. But yeah, the just crazy development all around so far. It's just like, this was just like development after development after development in this chapter, which was pretty wild. Okay, so, you know, we got the whole ending sequence with the Revolutionary Army. Never seen this guy before, but I hate him, adore her. And of course we got Koala, who we already know. Yeah, and so there, I wonder if they know something like about the nature of the One Piece that we don't, because they say whoever claims the One Piece will be able to wield Crown Pirate King, and they'll get that power for themselves, which is like, does this tie into my theory? Like, does this tie into my theory that the One Piece is instructions on how to use the the three ancient weapons and like those anchor beings around them, to, you know, take down the red line. But yeah, it seems like how would they possibly know this without knowing more about the true nature of the One Piece? It's very confusing. I wonder if like Dragon knows more, or but Dragon isn't even here in this scene, is he? He's like standing further away, right? Yeah, he's standing away on the shore. I don't know. Weird. So it pretty much reveals right now through Ivankov's realization that like Tequila Wolf, there's I love that there's Tequila Wolf, Vodka Wolf, Rum Wolf, and Bourbon Wolf. We didn't know about those other three, did we? Like, I don't know, but anyway, I thought that was funny. But interesting that Tequila Wolf is like, it seems like created weird, because you think you wouldn't need a bridge. Like if you had powerful ships, you could still sail them across the ocean if the ocean's higher, unless the waves get too unruly and like chaotic from the rising of the sea levels. But it seems like it's been revealed that Tequila Wolf, which has been a mystery for so long in the series, is being built because of this impending flood, and the government knows about it. So it's weird, like they're saying they can't let someone become Pirate King. I don't know, it's just weird. Like I don't know. It's odd. This is an odd conversation that I feel like will be analyzed to death on the internet. I don't know if I have much to say on it further. It's just a little weird, and like the logical leaps are just, some characters have to know more than they're letting on for these logical leaps to work. I think I would say. But of course, Dragon staring out, he's saying, you know, they have to achieve victory before people of the world kill each other to secure habitable land. So it's like they're on a ticking time clock now, and they have to move now before the sea levels rise too drastically and all out chaos ensues, and they won't be able to, you know. Which is interesting, because you feel like it might be, with chaos ensuing, it might be easier for them to achieve our mission, their goal. You know, like as the quote famous Littlefinger line from Game of Thrones, chaos is a ladder, you know, I feel like maybe they would be able to use the chaos, but it seems like they're like on a ticking time bomb. And I guess it's altruistic, you know, I guess it's more like, as I'm speaking it out, it's more like altruistic, like we don't want the people to deal with that, you know, we don't want all these innocent people that have to fight for their lives to survive, you know, so it's like we have to act now. So I think that the Revolutionary Army is going to be making big moves now. They're making subtle little moves, I feel like, so far, and it's been heating up with like Flame Emperor Sabo and shit like that. But it seems like Dragon's finally going to make his move, and I wonder if we're going to be parallel seeing sort of a, you know, the whole Laugh Tale, Luffy, and Straw Hat sequence is going to be paralleled to the Revolutionary Army invading Marijois, you know, like if we have like these two parallel arcs going on at the same time, interjecting with each other. I feel like that would be interesting, because I've seen a lot of people speaking. I can't remember where I saw it. It was like a podcast or something, where they were talking about the possibility that that Luffy and the Straw Hats won't be involved in the final war, and that the final war will be happening simultaneously to Luffy dealing with everything on Laugh Tale, and that, you know, the Revolutionary Army and those figures will be dealing with the final war at the simultaneously, which is I disagree with that. I feel like maybe some of that will happen, but I feel like Luffy has to jump in for the narrative to have like the fullness that it needs, you know, the completeness that it needs. Anyway, I'm talking for almost 15 minutes now. This was an insane chapter with so many incredible developments. I probably most definitely missed some just even in this. So if you noticed anything that I didn't mention, or I'm forgetting to mention, or didn't seem to catch, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. But yeah, insane chapter. Amazing chapter. It seems like we're getting another chapter next week. No break. I mean, last week was a break, so that makes sense, but that's nice. You never know these days. But yeah, wild chapter, and I'd love to know your thoughts. So yeah, thanks for watching.